How's that crypto investing coming along? You get this little face, this little sly little smile with a twinkle in the eye. Something else that I hear is, so I guess FTX has complicated crypto. That actually came from, a really good contact, friend of mine. He's a friend of mine. And he's actually very heavy as an analyst in the traditional markets. And that's still investing, but it's just from a traditional standpoint, traditional companies, not Web3, not blockchain, nothing like that. And I was in those two comments. The first comment especially was actually from high school guys that I met and their families yesterday. And it's so interesting, right? Because for anyone who's on YouTube, who's in this space full time, we sometimes get caught up in our own echo chambers. We think, the stuff that you hear, you read, or is common knowledge. And then you go out there and people are saying all kinds of things. And right or wrong, good or bad, FTX has put crypto on everyone's mind. Obviously, that's not in a great light, of course. But it's so interesting because FTX really highlighted why decentralized finance is the way to go. And people don't know that, and I don't blame them for not knowing that a centralized exchange like FTX, that's the old model. That's traditional model, where there is a specific entity that controls everything and you're not privy to the decisions they make, where they want to go, nothing like that. They do things for themselves. That's the whole point of this, right? And they're not doing it for their users or the people who are trying to grow a community. This is the old model. And so if anything, long term, FTX has really highlighted the importance of blockchain, the importance of transparency, the importance of having something decentralized, meaning not controlled by one particular entity. And so like the community controls it, or the community is involved at least in the decision-making process. I think it's a great thing. I'm saddened by the people who lost their funds, the millions that were lost on there, the billions that he took. But here's the funny thing, right? Nobody ever says don't invest in the stock market, or stock market got complicated. I mean, Bernie Madoff himself took $64 billion in his Ponzi scheme. $64 billion. Sam Bankman-Fried stole $10 billion. So a lot of money, but more than 6 times less than what Bernie Madoff himself did. The whole Enron fiasco was much bigger. So all these things which happen on a regular basis in traditional markets, nobody ever says, well, that complicated things. Look at the banks and the things that they do and the shady behaviors that we hear about and see fines for all the time. No one says anything. But here, and for good reason, this isn't like this should be swept under the rug or ignored. FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda, everything that they did, and how they devised a way to go after their competitors. So they smashed Celsius, they smashed Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, you name it. Okay, that should be highlighted. This is what we don't want. And BitBoy, actually something very interesting today. If you don't know who he is, BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong, great influencer with great content. Actually said something about having gatekeepers. But that gatekeeper phrase or term has a bad taste in the crypto world, because the whole point is to have freedom, right? Freedom to do as you so choose. But his gatekeeping terminology was actually more for bad actors. We never want to gatekeep individuals who want to invest in certain things. Absolutely not. But we want to gatekeep somehow, some way, those like Sam Bankman-Fried who are trying to do things steeped in the old model, but old model in a negative way. So hiding things from everybody, running scams, doing the Ponzi schemes, we want that out. So I thought that he said was fascinating. One more comment that I did hear, and this is again out of pure lack of knowledge, which the individual admitted. When I said I'm in early stage crypto investing, he says, oh, so you mean like coins, right? I'm like, no, I mean projects. Like you can invest in early stage companies. And it's funny, for whatever reason, he could not wrap his head around it. Because for him, crypto means coins. It doesn't mean that there are actual companies doing certain things or utilizing the blockchain to do something relevant. It's just about having a bunch of coins on a listing. So I thought that was very interesting because no, it's an early stage company. To me, in my mind, it's no different than when someone says they're an early stage investor in traditional markets, or the like the next Facebook or something like that. And you're just like, yeah, I'm an early stage investor. No one has an issue with that. But when you're in crypto, they're like, what coin is that? So it's interesting. And I'm gonna say this: maybe about a year and a half ago, I would have taken a lot of the comments personally. Right. So another comment would be something like, "Hey, FTX has made things more of an issue for me based on what I lost." But he wasn't saying it as he's not a crypto guy. He was just like, "Yeah, FTX ruined what I had in crypto." So it was just a negative spin about crypto. It's actually a real estate guy, and so I don't take anything personally. They don't do what I do, right? They're busy professionals. That's why I created this channel, was for busy professionals. You don't have the time, you don't have the wherewithal, and maybe you don't have the network, which is one of the biggest reasons why you're not in the space. And so everything you read, which is off of mainstream media, you rely on that as being the truth or as the full story. And that's not the case. And so if you don't have the knowledge, I can't hate on someone making comments when they haven't done the work. It's just funny. It's funny to me because I'm in it. So I see the holes now and things that are being said. And look, crypto's not dead. Crypto is not dead. Crypto is not complicated. Okay, it's actually gotten more clear. The message has gotten more clear, what we want, what we need. And I wanted to highlight this because you may be going to a party or get together or family, whatever it is, a family event. And if you're the person who they know as a crypto investor, this is what you're going to hear all the time. You're not going to hear when it's popping. But when it's down or some, major issue happens, they're going to look at you and be like, hey, what happened with so-and-so? Oh, you're the crypto guy? And then it's going to be a snide remark, a funny look, a chuckle here. Let it roll off your back. It's just water off a camel's back, right? And you just keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm not troubled by FTX or anything like that for the long haul. I know the building that's happening in this space. I see it. I'm invested in it. I'm excited for the future. I think we're going to have some big things happening. And these comments don't bother me. What I actually do like is the very fact that they're making these comments lets me know how early we are. And that is something to be excited for.